Hi everyone, welcome to DIY Mummy's Minute. Today we're going to make 3 centerpieces for spring and Easter season. All 3 centerpieces are super easy to make and budget friendly. Our first centerpiece will take you a couple minutes to complete. You're going to need a glass vase, some clear glue, and then also a bunch of tulips. These ones were purchased at Michael's, and right now they have all of their spring decor buy one get one free. The first step is taking some wire cutters and cutting off each tulip stem. Next, you're going to take your clear vase. This one was purchased at Dollarama for $1.75. And we're going to add the clear glue to the bottom of the vase. The glue is going to hold your tulips in place once it dries. It dries in about 4 to 5 days, and you can use this season after season, and it will also look like water at the bottom of the vase, and it will give that realistic look. The next step is you're going to take each tulip stem and place it into the vase. I also added the leaves because I liked the way it looked, and then you can set it aside for about a week to give it time to fully dry, and then you have the perfect centerpiece for the spring season. Here's my finished product. I think it turned out great, and I love the looks of this. Simple and elegant. On to centerpiece number 2. This is some Easter decor. It is super easy to make. What you're going to need is a vase. This one was purchased at Dollarama for $3, and I got a pretty blue pastel color. You're also going to need a styrofoam ball. This one was also at Dollarama for $2. You'll need some Easter eggs, and I'm just going to pick the ones that are going to match the vase, and then you're going to use some floral moss as well, and you'll need your hot glue gun. Our first step is we're going to take our styrofoam ball and you're going to put it into your vase, and then you want to secure that styrofoam ball with some hot glue. So I just went all the way around. Don't worry about the looks because we'll be covering that later. The next step is we're going to take our Easter eggs and you're going to hot glue them onto the styrofoam ball. And you're going to cover as much surface area of the styrofoam ball with your Easter eggs that you can. So I started at the bottom, and then you're just going to stack the Easter eggs on top of one another till you fill the styrofoam ball and get to the very top. The Easter eggs that I'm using are from Michael's Craft Store. They're buy one get one free, and they come with 2 different sizes. So I added the larger eggs to the bottom, and then I went with the smaller eggs on the top, and I ended up using 2 bunches. Here's what it looks like with all the eggs in place. Again, I used the pastel colors to match my vase. The next step is we're going to take our floral moss. This moss was purchased at Dollarama for $1.25, and you're going to use about a half a bag. And what we're going to do is hot glue that moss in between all the Easter eggs to hide the styrofoam ball. Make sure you add a layer of moss to the very bottom layer of the eggs, and that will hide the hot glue that you use to secure the styrofoam ball onto the vase. And then your centerpiece is complete. So here's my end product. I love the pastel colors. This is going to look great on my Easter dinner table. Moving on to our last centerpiece. This one is a little unique. I seen these cabbages at Michael's Craft Store in the spring section. It was buy one get one free. They were $29.99 Canadian, but I did get 2 of them, so it was a pretty good deal, and I thought this was going to make the perfect centerpiece for this spring. So in the middle of this cabbage, it's a styrofoam ball that is covered with these leaves. So we are going to go ahead and add some tulips to the center of the cabbage. These ones were purchased at Michael's as well, and I got the larger style tulips and then also the smaller size. I'm also going to need a base. This is just a top from a Bath & Body candle, and I thought it would be perfect. And you're going to need your hot glue gun and some wire cutters as well. Because the cabbage is circular on the bottom, we do need to add a base so it will stand upright. I'm going to be using the top of a candle from Bath & Body Works. I usually keep these and I use them in a lot of my crafts. You could also use a decorative plate, would look really nice as well. So to attach the base, I'll just be using hot glue, and I'm going to hot glue the bottom of the cabbage and then stick it onto the top of the candle. The next step is we're going to go ahead and prepare our tulips. So I got one bunch of larger tulips and then 2 bunches of the smaller tulips. And again, they're buy one, get one free. So you're just going to take your wire cutters and you're going to cut off each stem. And with the little ones, they come with little leaves. And I just like to push them up to the top so they're visible with our centerpiece. So I'm going to do that with all of the little ones, and then the larger ones, you're just going to use the stems, and we can add the tulip leaves to the larger ones at the very end as well. The last step is creating our tulip bouquet into the middle of the cabbage. So the middle of the cabbage is just styrofoam and it's covered by this cabbage leaf. And your tulips are wired as well. However, I still need it to puncture through to create a little hole to enter the stems of the tulips into it. So I just did that with a pair of scissors, and I didn't need to apply any hot glue or anything like that. They were pretty stable once they were in there. But with the larger tulips, I did use the scissors. The smaller tulips were a little bit easier, but it can be a little difficult to puncture through that cabbage leaf. But again, very easy to create a little hole for your stem. So when adding my tulips, I added the larger ones first and I put them in the middle of the cabbage, and then I took the smaller tulips and I went all the way around the larger ones to fill it in. And then at the very end, I took the leaves that came with the larger tulips and I just placed them in the middle with a little bit of hot glue to keep them in place. Here's the finished product of my cabbage centerpiece. I love this. I love how it turned out. It's gorgeous, and it's just something different for this upcoming season. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it inspires you. Please like and subscribe for more DIY fun. Happy spring!